Welcome back to another Gacha Mates podcast episode. This is number 14, guys. It's been a while since we've been on. We've got a couple of things to talk about. I admittedly haven't spoken with one of my best friends in the space in Volkin, like 3 weeks or so?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. It's been a little bit.
So we want to do a little bit of catching up. We saved the catching up for on the episode so we can have an authentic conversation. I want to talk with Volkin about what he's been up to. He wants to talk to me about what I've been up to. And we want to dabble in some conversations that have been occurring. We'll probably touch up on the Asmongold situation briefly, but we're going to walk around it because, you know how the internet is, bro. Cancel culture is insane. But I do think it's interesting on how that dynamic has been occurring and surfacing. But if we feel like we're touching up on any sensitive topics, we'll probably just edit that out. But before we get into all the crazy stuff, the meat and potatoes, let's just catch up. Volk, what have you been up to, brother? I hear you've been farming the Pokemon TCG content. I know it's coming out on the 30th of this month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
it's right around the corner.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. It's in the New Zealand soft launch, dude. I'm the PvP guy. Everyone knows me as the PvP guy. I just want PvP and everything. And I've just been having so much fun. The game is so basic. You open packs, you build decks, and you battle. There's no ranking system yet or anything, but dude, I've just been dumping endless time. I've actually been streaming as well. I haven't streamed in ages because it's just I just love competitiveness, and that's it. Like, there's community servers that do like 64 player tournaments every weekend now. It's a very basic game, but it's fun, it's competitive. I've been enjoying it. See how it goes at launch.
My question is, you said it's a good game for PvP, but it's shit for everything else. What did you mean by that?
Literally, you open packs, you get 2 packs a day to open. There's no PvE progression. There's like a couple battles that give you like packs early on. You finish them in a couple of hours. Besides that, you're just building decks and battling people. I do think they will have more events and stuff like that in the game at launch, but it's very bare bones in the soft launch. But we'll see how it goes.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but I've just been having fun. Like I said, I always just like competing, and it's just I just have fun with that.
No, I mean, my other boy James is doing the exact same thing, and he was doing some hands, and he got apparently the most rare card in the game. Is it Charizard, apparently?
Yeah, you can get these crown rares, these gold cards. Yeah, I re-rolled for about, I want to say 4 days and got a double crown rare Charizard in a pack, and like people have spent hundreds upon hundreds and not got them. So yeah.
Dude, that's actually insane, bro. 4 days of re-rolling. The re-roll goat over here, man.
It's funny though, because they do like the little things that are like massive dopamine hits. Like when you open a pack, there's a 0.05% chance, I believe it is, for it to be a rare pack, meaning all 5 cards in the pack are like highly rare cards. And so it's like it's just got all the dopamine hits of like being a kid opening Pokemon cards. I think it's really targeted at people my age and getting them to spend money.
And I remember you telling me that the other motivating factor that got you into it was because of the kid. Now, how's the kid liking it?
He loves it. Yeah. Yeah. He's having a blast with it. It's very easy to get into and learn. It's things highlight when you can play them. If you like, it's actually much more complex when you play competitively, but it's also got a very low floor of entry.
Now, is school going on right now over there in Australia?
School's back on. Yes. Yep.
How is that? How is that? Because I feel like there's got to be an addicting factor for the kid, and you having to be like, okay, school, you can play this, get your work done, all that.
No, he's fine. He knows he can have his half hour of iPad time a day, whatever he does with it. That's it. But often he doesn't even do that because my son is so bloody active. Like now it's starting to warm up. Over here, we're getting like,
you said half hour.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Damn. So he gets 30 minutes of iPad time per day.
Yep.
Damn, that's fucking. So, bro is the opposite of an iPad baby. I think that's awesome, by the way. Like, literally, I'm fascinated by that because I would, especially over here in America, these kids are getting fucking 5, 6, 7 hours a day on the iPad, and it's now concocted the term iPad baby, where they just can't. You take the iPad away from them, and they're just like, "The fuck are we doing?" You know?
Yeah. No, he's turning 7 in December, so like he's getting into that age. But yeah, dude, like all he wants to do is play basketball at the moment. So we're just outside playing basketball after school.
Volk,
more than anything.
I'm serious. I applaud you and the missus. That's fucking awesome, brother. I don't think you understand. That's a hell of an accomplishment in society today. Every kid is an iPad baby these days. It's wild.
Yeah, it's a very awkward one when you think about it. Like when you try and parent, because it's like, okay, technology is something they need to develop. They need those skills. So you don't want to deprive them of the basic skills, but you also don't want to give them too much of it that becomes their life sort of thing. So the thing I think that balances well is his school. They do some learning on on laptops or iPads or tablets, whatever the fuck it is. So they do some of that. So they get those base skills. And then I'm like, your novelty time on it can be limited.
I'm really liking the direction of this conversation. I want to stay on this topic a little bit more.
The other thing, because we're in the gacha space, that I don't let him do in the game, he doesn't even know it exists, is opening packs.
Nice.
So I boot the game up into battles, and I'm like, you're not allowed to go out of here. You can change the decks. You can build a deck if you want, but I don't tell him that you can open packs in the game. So he doesn't even know that's part of the game, even though it's like 90% of the game.
And I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. That's because you don't want them to even get a taste of the gambling.
No, I've seen how it fucks up people with this stuff. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think for like gacha games, like you've got to have the mental maturity to understand the value of money and everything like that before you start doing it. So obviously I've been teaching him money through, jobs and stuff like that he's been doing, but I've been teaching him interest and everything. But yeah, I don't think it's not something I just want to expose him to pointlessly.
No. The reason I'm peeling back the layers of this is because I'm trying to get the internet to understand how your kid did not become attached to the iPad. And I feel like these details, it's hidden between the details. You're slowly but surely explaining why it doesn't bother him to be on an iPad for 30 minutes a day. And that's obviously because you've invested time in teaching him things outside of electronics. Because you already know there's going to be enough of that being taught in schools because it's so baked into our infrastructure. I think that's fascinating, man.
And I also think like every kid is different as well. Like he's just an active kid, and he just wants to play every sport. Like that's like
I also feel like it's a byproduct of his environment, and you and the missus are a massive part of his environment and what you're having him doing. The influence is powerful there.
Yeah, but
I do think every kid is different.
Yeah, I can see with my daughter, like she's a bit different. She's a bit more happy to laze around, whereas my son can't sit still for 10 minutes. Like so there is a different dynamic. Different kids are different.
You got two, and you're doing and you're saying, but are you doing the exact same things with the daughter though?
Yeah, pretty much.
She's
good too. Like she was out at the shops with the missus yesterday, and she's like, "Mum, I need a new basketball." So like now she's got her new basketball. So now they're both out there playing. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good because I think the thing with the younger siblings is that you often lean into whatever the older sibling does. I think it's just like natural because that's what you're around. So she gets into that stuff. But yeah, she does more her calisthenics, she gymnastics and stuff like that.
That's terrific for a girl too, honestly. I will say it's a slippery slope if they get overly invested in it, because then it kind of takes over their fucking life, and then before you know it, you got an action figure daughter who just thinks, lives and breathes gymnastics.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
I've seen it happen many a times. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The is what it is part. The problem with that, especially coming from somebody who has an extensive sports background, is it can tunnel vision you, and you completely forget about all other avenues of life. And I'm telling you, that can be a negative unless you become a fucking ultra freak athlete, which 99% don't.
I tend to disagree. If my kids get ultra obsessive into sport, man, I'm fucking super happy for that, because then they're not worried about all the other social aspects. Now drugs in society is a massive thing you got to worry about. Like, I'm the guy. Like, I'm the guy. I've never even smoked a cigarette, let alone tried any drug in my life. So it's like. But I know, like, obviously through growing up, footy clubs, stuff like that, how prevalent it is everywhere, and anything that's going to give them more fixation to avoid that kind of shit, I am more than happy with, and I'll support any sports ambitions they have. And hey, at the end of the day, if you're that active into sport, in my opinion, it means you're going to be healthy, which gets you mentally tougher, and then you can work. Like, hey, you can still play sport and get a career. Doesn't matter.
I completely respect that, and I think that's a pretty sound logic. As somebody though who was tunnel visioned, and I'm only going to speak on me behind at this point now. Yeah, it's just my own personal experience, which is why I'm so keen on pushing back on you on that. Yeah, but like if it's one thing I regret, it's having that tunnel vision for the sport. Obviously, it got me pretty damn far in life, and there's a lot of things I learned from it. But I wish I could have learned multimedia earlier. I wish I could have learned debate earlier. That way it would be able to extend into my career today. But I did not care about any of that stuff because I was just so fucking fixated on the sport. It literally just, it tunneled my vision from learning things that would have been very important skill sets to take with me today. And there's a lot of things in content creation today, Volk, where I'm hindered by growth because I don't have those tools that I could have learned had I not been so fucking fixated on sports. So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also think it's a balance thing. I think you can be hyper fixated on one thing, but still do other things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's what I feel like gymnastics, it is a go hard or go home ass. Wait, there's no balance. It's like,
dude,
commit or don't commit.
Dude, can I just say gymnastics, like the good gymnastics people are insane. Like when I take her to gymnastics, it's like a proper gymnastics place, but they have their like little kids area. And like when I went there a couple of weeks ago, there was this one chick there. And she's like doing all this, like she's doing the bars, like the swinging on the bars. She's doing like the vaulting into, like she was doing it into a foam pit, but you know, they do like
chopping up a little bit. Camera's chopping up a little bit, Volk.
Oh, sorry. She's doing like,
that's okay.
I think that's just for you though, because it'll be fine on my recording. It's just the connection to Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, she's doing like the 8 backflips into a fucking pit. And I'm just like, this stuff is insane. Like,
dude, the strength displayed is what's
and flexibility
insane.
Is nuts.
If you go and try and do a muscle up, or you go and try and do a handstand or any of that, then you come to the gravity of just how insanely strong these people are.
It is nuts. But yeah, I think we nailed down on parent. Is there anything else you want to touch on that topic?
No, I think I'm pretty good there. The next thing I wanted to talk with you about was we got to go to Japan together.
Dude, I was about to ask you about Japan. Yeah, dude. Like, Japan is somewhere I've always wanted to go because I love both sides of it. I love like the sort of, you know, anime and that sort of side of it. But I also love like the ancient culture of Japan and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I want to talk with you about. I want to talk with you about like just the surprise factor that happened to me as soon as I set foot there.
Yeah.
The way the people are, how they carry themselves, and when I say the people are, I mean the culture. Speaking of the culture is just so captivating because it's just so different from American culture. I remember I've said this example a couple of times on stream, so some people who are Gacha Smack viewers will hear me saying it again, but I want to mention it again. One of the things that was fascinating to me was just going upstairs in Japan. They have an arrow that points up and then an arrow that points down, and it's split off. Now, the arrow that points up, it's much wider, right? And then the arrow that points down, it's much narrow. So not many people have a lot of room in that. But in America, we're not looking at the fucking arrows, right? Like if they were just going to wherever there's the most room and then we're going up or going down, like just real selfish. But in Japan, no matter how crowded that point arrow up is, people will get in line and wait, even if that other arrow point down place is wide open. And I'm like, that's so fucking cool, bro. Like everybody's on the same page there, man. Yeah. That was really cool to me, Volk. But like, if you want to chime in too, let me know because I'm about to just yap it off.
You just take it away. Take it away.
Okay. Okay. So that was one of the things that was really cool. The other thing was when I'm walking outside, especially in America, obviously, first of all, you barely see anybody here. It's so widespread in Houston. Is it that way in Australia, by the way? Is it like widespread to where not a lot of people walk around?
I mean, I don't know. I see people walking around every day when I walk the dog and stuff, but
I'll give you an example. What I mean by that, so you have your neighborhood, right? Our neighborhood, which you're going to see people obviously in your neighborhood. But if I'm going to go to the gym, I have to drive to the gym, get out my car, and then I go in the gym, and then there's people there. But in Japan, it's much more like, I would say, New York. It's like everybody is walking somewhere. It's a very train station prevalent like place.
Yeah, nah, not here. Like I'm further out in the suburbs, so you got to travel further to get to anywhere, if that makes sense.
Okay, so maybe it's because of my upbringing, but I really love that lifestyle. You just feel more involved with people. You don't feel like my life right now. It's a very, I go to my neighborhood, I go to fuck home, I go to gym, I go home. There, you're always seeing hundreds of people walking to certain places, going to eat. And I wasn't a very touristy spot, right? Chiba in Tokyo.
Yeah.
But like that made me feel like I was in high school and like period end. Time to like fuck around with the friends a little bit and then go to the next class.
Yeah.
That was how I felt being there. I was like, damn, this is so involved. It's cool. It's like camaraderie.
I'd say you can get that type of thing in every country, just depending on where you're living and how close to a city type area it is. Because over here, like if I went, closer towards the city into some of like the real just edge of the city suburbs, you get a lot of that. But because I'm out further, everything's a bit more spread apart.
It was like, but this is the thing, Volk. If you go to like New York or something, it's a bunch. You still get the American vibe. People are not fucking like, they're not like walking with each other like they're family or friends. They're just like getting to their place.
Yeah.
Here and where I was there, it was like an anime, bro. It was like everybody was
I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was cool to watch it because I'm a fucking foreigner. I'm just like, wow, this is so crazy.
That's brilliant.
But and then the other thing that was crazy is there's no trash cans on the street at all. You have to hold your trash until you get into an establishment. Establishments, obviously, they're going to have some trash cans, but like the place is very clean. And again, that's another testament of the discipline of the people.
Actually, something I couldn't believe when I went to America was that everyone just dumps their trash on the path, and then
they don't give a fuck.
Like, I mean, I think it was like there was no, like, people didn't have bins. It was like I feel like when I was in New York, this was like 7 years ago or something now. It was like they just put bags of trash on the road, and that's what got picked up. There was no bins. Like,
yeah. So like there are bins. I just feel like it depends on where you're at. Like you do have to put your shit inside of a bin, and then the trash guy will come and pick it up. I don't know where you were. That's fascinating that you don't.
That was in New York, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Well, New York built different. I've been to New York. I didn't even notice that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, just like subtle differences when things are like, because I mean, Australia's fairly similar to America, but just those like some differences, it's just like, whoa, that's crazy.
Speaking of the traverse there, a taxi costs $130 fucking for a 30-minute ride, and USD. Bullet train, same exact destination, 60 cents, like $1.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, don't worry. We'll have Elon will be covering the public transport soon, but
because dude, that's crazy, Volk. Like, but that's the thing. The train literally, it's baked into the entirety of Japan, though. Like, you just go wherever. Brax went to, I think, what the hell is fuck? It's on my tip of my tongue. Whatever. He went to a place 6 hours away. Yeah. He went to a place 6 hours away, and the bullet train got him there in 3. And I'm just like, dang, bro, like that's so cool, bro. I wish we had that over here, because then I could go to Austin in 30 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
You know what I mean? That would be insane. So I thought that was really cool about Japan. But I mean, dude, the Tokyo Game Show is where I feel like me and you need to book and plan our shit around so we can all go. And then as a family and experience it too. I met a guy out there, Volk. I tell you, I was going to talk your ear off. He's been living in Japan for 15 years. His name's Ryuku Sensei, and he's also a content creator in our space. I'll introduce you to him.
I think I've seen him on Twitter once or twice, maybe. I reckon I've heard the name.
One of the greatest human beings I've ever met in my life. It would be equivalent to me, like just me and you meeting as first time strangers, and you don't trust somebody as a stranger. You don't, right?
Yeah.
But like, if you meet a good person, you immediately know you could put your life in their heads. Like, it's just like an immediate connection. You just know they're going to do the right thing.
I think I've seen one of his videos when he talks about the culture. He was talking about the culture difference in Japan versus the West with one of the Ho-Yo games. I can't remember. Yeah, I think I do know the guy. Yep.
He speaks fluent Japanese.
Yeah.
And he lives in a more preserved.
Hey, that's why you liked him, because you're in Japan and you needed a translator. You're a scumbag.
That's true. No.
Just using people.
I'm going to get to that. Fuck off, folks. The thing is, though, like that's what I mean. You're absolutely right. He was my lifeline. He really was. But it's not like I was like depending on him to do it. He did it freely. Yeah. He was like, I just want to make sure you have a good time. He's like, I watch your content. I'm actually a fan. I was like, well, damn, that's awesome, man. But look, Volk, this guy he's your age. You're 35, right, Volk?
Please, I'm 34. I'm 35 in about a month.
Oh, yeah. You're 35, you old fuck.
I'm not big yet.
So like, he's actually your age, man. I mean, pretty much our age bracket. A bunch of old fucks. He's a British guy. That's what's so funny about this whole thing. Bro has a thick fucking British accent, but he lives. Nothing about him makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, what are you doing? You're such an anomaly. Anyways, man, this dude, he was there when I went to NTE booth. He helped me record and make my content. It's just the amount of help he was providing to me is like uncanny. You just don't see that shit in our modern society today. As we always discuss, this world's fucking cooked.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy.
I messaged Smack during the week, and I was like, I feel like the world just needs a reset, and I just finished watching Dr. Stone, so I'm completely ready for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the world's fucking cooked today, man. It's just true. And so when you meet somebody like that, it's just like it's a good refreshing of, okay, there's still hope in humanity. There's still good people out there. You know, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And there's a whole story I can explain. I don't want to take up too much of the podcast episode with it, but just know that dude he did way more for me than I thought possible, bro. It was fucking insane. The last thing I want to talk to you though is about the train station system. If you don't like speak Japanese, there's no way you can get around. That's why you kind of like just need somebody who speaks Japanese, because everything's in Japanese. They do have some English letters, But dude, those train stations are going several different directions. You get on that motherfucker, it'll take you to Egypt on accident. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was so cool that I had that guy with me to navigate, because we were able to go to Akihabara, which was literally a New York anime building place.
Yeah.
And they had 85 shops, Pokemon cards, anime cards, action figures, games, like arcades. You could go up this like little elevator and you'd be in this place where it's just 87 different arcades, Volk, and like you got grown men in here gaming the fuck out. I was like, bro, this is bringing back the memories, man. But you gotta go, man. I swear you would love it, because it's not just that experience that me and you can experience as men. The women will be able to experience how safe Japan is.
Yeah,
there's like zero crime rate.
I actually said that to the missus. I said the next like on-site thing I can get like a sponsor for, I'm like, I'll just make sure the sponsorship covers my family's flights, and I'll take the whole family for the next ones, because it feels kind of shit just ditching them and going on those trips.
Well, that's why it's strategic. I have that full-blown consideration. You can't just ditch your fucking loved ones, right?
Yeah.
There's things to do there. That's why you go, once you spend your time in Tokyo and Chiba or whatever, and we get to experience that city life, or just like Akihabara and stuff, then you make the trip to where Brax went, which is pissing me off that I can't remember the name. Kyoto. There we go. Kyoto is 6 hours away. It's preserved land, so that's where you'll really get the experience of what Japan looks like for real. Yeah. Like them old days, man. And that is where you would go with the missus. Yeah. And you'd see the sakura flowers, the beautiful fucking landscape, the geography, and all of that. And that's why it'd be a great. And guess what? That dude lives like 1 hour from Kyoto.
Yeah. That's
so then he would meet, and he would be the guy again. He's showing us. But he loves it. He loves it, man. Like, it's just such a fun thing. But that was my whole experience, bro. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah. Is there anything you want to ask me about it though? Because like, bro, I'm telling you that I could yap for days about it.
Any games there that got you excited? Like, did you make any connections with developers, anything like that?
So there we go, man. I'm an idiot for not even bringing that up. So the Tokyo Game Show in and of itself, first of all, before we even get into that, the crowd there was like a crowd as if a zombie apocalypse was upon us to get in. Oh, Volk, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I've been a lot of places. I've traveled all over the world, but like the amount of people trying to get into that show, Volk, was unfucking real. Yeah. The line was like this 35 times over. It would have taken you 3 hours to get in.
Fucking
so that's how packed it was. But when we got in there, I understood why, because they had all the biggest names for not only gacha games, but like Monster Hunter Wilds, the Metaphor Refantazio game that just dropped, which is the Team Atlas for Persona. Every like big hitter, Fatal Fury for the fighting games, it was in there, and they were showing off their shit. And obviously they were showing it off before they go to the public, like early access shit. So everybody wants to get in there and get their hands on it. I obviously, after NTE business concluded, we went over to the booth, the Dual Knights Abyss.
Oh yeah,
all the developers were so nice. Duet Night Abyss. There we go. Damn. RIP sponsor.
There goes that one. Hey guys, I'll take Smack's deal. It's okay. I got you.
We went and connected with the developers there. Everyone was very freaking nice. Even despite the English barrier not being there, that was what's fascinating too. Everyone in Japan speaks a little bit of English. Another like one up from America. We don't focus on speaking another fucking language.
I think the problem is that when you're in an English speaking country, it's like what language? Like I feel like this could be complete. Like this could be a bad take. But I think English is like the general global communication language. So if you're in any country whose main language is not English, I think you just learn English as your second language. Whereas over here, everywhere's different. I went to primary school, I learned Chinese. I went to high school, I learned Indonesian. My son's going to primary school now, they're teaching German. The other school we looked at teaches Spanish. It's like there's no consensus on what language. To me, I'd probably learn Mandarin, or one of the Chinese dialects as my go-to.
Mandarin would be the most common tongue, I would say.
I feel like that would be the most, especially when you look at business and stuff like that. I feel like that's like the secondary most spoken language for business. I could be completely wrong. I'm not an expert on this, but that's probably what I would lean to. But yeah, like over in English-speaking countries, it's just like throwing a dart at a board and just going, okay, you're learning that language because there's no consensus.
You're right. That's fair. That makes perfect sense. It still was nice as a foreigner, and I'm like, okay, they actually at least understand me. That's freaking cool.
Yeah.
But all the devs, you know what was crazy, Volk? One of the things I learned, I guess I explained the story with Brax. Brax got fucking blessed by me. Brax just pulled up, and I ran into. So I got to explain this story. This shit is crazy. I get to that zombie apocalypse crowd. And I'm just like a needle in a fucking haystack. And then my contact reaches to me and she screenshots this sign. She says, meet me here. You don't have to wait in that line. I'll get you in immediately. So I immediately get out of the zombie apocalypse. And then I finally make my way towards this sign. And I see Braxophone there. And I'm just like, oh, so he must be a part of this whole little group project with the NT experience too. So I get there and I'm like, Brax. I said, hey there, handsome guy. He's like your fucking size, by the way, tall motherfucker. And I give him a hug and I'm like, good to see you, man. Great to meet you finally in person. I was like, oh, so you must be here for the NT stuff here too, huh? And he's like, dude, no, wait, what? No, fuck no. I just showed up, man. He's like, I'm just here for the Tokyo Game Show. I was like, what the you're at the spot out of 1 million spots that she screenshotted to meet her at. Standing here as if you're here for the booth and you're not here for that. Like, dude, it blew me away. And we all like had a fucking laugh about it. So we get inside. I see him later on. He comes to the NT booth and I say, I tell the guy, I said, hey, Brax is another content creator in our space. He actually has way more subs than I have. He gets more views than I get. He's a big deal. I was like, you should probably let him play the game as well because it's just free exposure for your game. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. He said, yeah, bring him in. And I point at Brax in the line. I say, Brax, come on over here. And I get him straight into the beta. And he gets one of the first uploads on this side of the United States, bro.
Dude, that's crazy.
It was insane. And then not only that, I connected him with the devs. They're inviting us back to the beta testing and stuff. Like, it was insane connect, bro, like networking.
Dude, so how's the randomness of that, like the coincidence in that, the placing of Brax?
I couldn't believe it.
Did you even know he was going to be in? So that's just complete coincidence.
So I knew he was going to be at the Tokyo Game Show. I actually reached out to him. I said, hey, I know you're going to be, because when I was watching Tectone and when they were at the TwitchCon, I was watching their streams. I remember Brax like mentioning he was going to be in Tokyo. He was going from TwitchCon straight to TGS. I knew he was going to be there. But I had no the meeting was a 1 in a million meeting. I'm serious. Like, what are the fucking odds? But she just took a picture of a random sign. She said, meet here. I said, okay, bet. Show up, and Brax is there. The fuck is Brax? Oh, he must be a part of the deal. No, just random.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It was crazy.
That's fantastic.
But basically, after that, man, we went into like look around the TGS. I was working the majority of the time because I had to do all the filming and all that. But after we got free, we went over to a game called Breakers, I believe.
Yeah, I know the Breakers, and then it's got like some sentence of 3 words after it. Yeah.
So Brax went and he did a little bit of connecting there. He was really excited about the game, but he said it was undercooked. He said it seemed like they were just trying to get exposure at the TGS show. Wuthering Waves was there, and by the time I was ready to like check out Wuthering Waves, I was also checked out of being in that motherfucker because we were just walking around and I was working my ass off. I never even said hi to them. And I even reached out to the staff and was supposed to go say hello to the guy. I never did. So that just didn't happen, man. Yeah. I went over the Monster Hunter Wilds. That was the biggest venue there. It had 85 flat inch TVs for people to play Monster Hunter Wilds on. Jesus. And it was closed. You couldn't even register.
Damn, that's
biggest
crazy.
venue there, Volk. Biggest venue there. 85 fucking TVs. I don't know if it's 85, but it was a lot of them. And you couldn't even get in line. They were like, "Oh, it's all right, no more."
So
I was like,
"You could have had content for the new channel, but you missed it."
Skill issue. Guess what? A skill issue for sure.
Yeah.
NTE. If I would have, you know, what's funny, Volk? To be completely honest, if I would have got my ass up even earlier and just got in line and did it, I could have probably eventually got something out of it. But I didn't care enough. I was just trying to enjoy Japan.
Oh, 100%.
But the NTE booth, just to give you some perspective, only had 4 TVs, 2 of which for content creators. Monster Hunter Wilds had 85.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That just lets you know how big that area was. It was insane.
Nuts. Yeah.
And no other place in that whole TGS was as big as Monster Hunter Wilds. It was just fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah, it's insane.
But that was the experience. And I do want to conclude that whole little sector off with, you'd be amazed, and Volk, you know this I think you know this better than anybody in the space. Or probably Tech as well. Tech's really good at networking. But just going up and saying hi to a developer, this is my name, What do you guys got going on here? How far that can fucking go.
Oh, when you consider how far it goes, just reaching out to them on Discord and making connections in Discord in real life is next level. I know Brax is amazing at it too.
Next level.
Brax is really good at networking because he goes to all these things. Prime example.
You'd be amazed. And it's just like, I don't know, like what it is just that real life sense of energy you just don't get over the fucking internet. And they're just like, hey, nice to meet you. Okay, cool. Well, guess what, bro? We're looking for content creators. So like, moral of the story, guys, reach out, open your fucking mouth. You know, it's that simple, man. The next topic I want to go into, which we're at 31 minutes. Oh, okay.
We've got plenty of time.
Healthy.
Because I want to talk about Rappa as well towards the end.
We can do Rappa, but no, I want to talk about this. You know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about these fucking robots. Elon Musk dropped a new venture. He revealed his next 5 billion IQ project where he's got auto fucking taxis picking you up. Nobody's driving them. They're driving themselves and they're taking you around the block, bro, for a spin. It's insane. Like, this is the future, right? Then he has the buses doing the same thing. They look like literally futuristic vehicles. Like, that's what's impressive about it to me, Volk. They literally look like the future. And he did say that. He said, when I create for the future, I want it to look like the future, what we envision to be the future, which is cool.
The sci-fi future that you see in,
That was so cool about. So the aesthetic is definitely on point, but the robot was the craziest reveal. I was like, there's no way we've already reached this point of societal evolution.
I loved the because I watched a bunch of videos of like the people just interacting with in general. Like, you know, it asks you where you live, you ask where it lives. He goes, oh, we live, you know, I live here, and it does. This is where we get all our programming, and it's like the conversations were cool. And I know people are saying it's just a ventriloquist. There's someone controlling it. I don't give a shit, man. You can tell me that a million times. And you can prove it to me. I'm still gonna believe that it's a real like it's an AI, because dude, that's too cool. But I like, honestly, like the amount of technology advancement so far is insane. When you look at just AI and just ChatGPT in itself, the fact, like the idea that now you're just adding a voice and movement to it, dude. But it just gets me into like. As a lot of people reference Skynet, I just see Ultron and I'm just like, holy fuck, where are we going? Dude.
For me, I think the things you just mentioned, though, is a testament of the realism of it actually being an AI who's really doing those thoughts. Because like you just stated, ChatGPT and all these AI resources we have on the internet, and how they fucking give you they feed you what you're interested in the algorithm and stuff like instantly. I think that's a testament to it being real, like, because that's what they do. And AI is getting to a scary evolution stage.
It's so, like, very scary. Like,
it is.
I know it's like people think it's just movies and stuff, but it's like if you program it wrong, now that you're giving it physical form as well.
Dude, that's where we go to our conversation.
It's insane where they could go.
And then this is what we've seen in the movies a million times. We've seen it in X-Men. We've seen it in X-Men where the robots go, fuck these guys. We've seen it in Avengers where, what's his name, goes, fuck these guys. Yeah, Ultron. We've seen it in iRobot, you know, like where they're going to get to this point and they're going to go, these people are fucking scumbags. We gotta cleanse. Yeah. So like, that's the scary part of it. But the fascinating part of it is where he says you can use them to educate, to be a baby. First of all, as a parent, babysitter, I know, but that's crazy that you could do that while you go warm up some food. I'm not talking about like full-time babysitting. The most inconvenient things for me as a parent, and me and my partner, is literally like, I want to go take a shit. But I don't know. I'm not about to leave my daughter in the room for that little 5-minute time. But if you had somebody sitting there supervising them, that's really convenient. That's awesome. Or if you're trying to make some food, and the baby's sitting there slamming pots and doing cartwheels and maybe trying to pick the knife up off the counter. It'd be nice to have that extra bit of supervision. So that's my thought process. I don't know if
my supervision would be a robot. I like technology. I just don't know about that. I'm past the point where I have to worry about it anyway because my kids are.
That's a normal concern though, Volk. Obviously a human's first fucking reaction is going to be skeptical. You know, I get that 100%, but I'm talking about the fascinating aspect of it actually being workable or like feasible. Yeah, that would be a crazy convenience to people's lives. Getting the mail at the door and stuff that they showed in the footage. I mean, we can also look at the scrutiny of it too.
I just love it to be able to grab my dog and stop him barking at night when the possum runs across the roof.
Or take the dog out for a walk too.
I enjoy going for the walks.
But see, I do want to get into the other avenues of this conversation because obviously it's not all sunshine and fucking rainbows. There's a lot of flaws. Obviously, one of them is like disconnection. Some parents might do that for real, full-time babysitting with their kid to the point where the kid's more close with the robot than they are with the family. And then you're taking your dogs on the walk. Same thing. The dog's more close to the robot than they are with the family. So I think there's a lot of disconnect and discontent that can occur from it. Convenience is not always a good thing, right? Elevators and driving vehicles has made people fatter because they don't want to fucking walk and do exercise. So I think those are a lot of things to put into perspective for the robot, but it's still really cool seeing the whole thing unfold.
Dude, I love anything that's like technology. Like I just love seeing it. I think it's all really cool. But yeah, I remember looking up someone that did some numbers on like the cyber taxis and like the actual cost and like how efficient it could make it so that you probably don't even need to like own a car anymore. Like obviously, like I'll be that guy that always owns a car, just independence and not having to rely on anything. But like, I just think a lot of the numbers look very interesting for it that they were quoting. I don't know how soon it'll come because I take anything that Elon says about timelines with a massive grain of salt. But like, dude, the future is it's on its way. It's all
on its way. But see, that's the other thing I want to talk to you about too, though. Like, is the again scrutinizing that whole thing coming true. Yes, it's convenient, but as we know with technology can be fucking buggy. And so if it's buggy on the road, brother, that's a buggy bye to life. You know,
I do agree. I also think a very interesting thing, like obviously the technology has to be insane for that driving. But I do think you could get technology to a point where it drives safer than people because it's like, it's more.
You're right.
But then it's like the whole idea that this is the thing that always gets me. I love going on these tangents with random things. I'm always like it with like space.
This is what podcasts are for, man. This is what pods are for.
The thing that gets me is, okay, if every car is now AI driven and they drive impeccably and they never crash into each other, there's the external impacts that could affect it. For instance, a tree falls down. Even though they would never crash into each other, now you have a tree falling down. Both cars have to swerve. But if they swerve, they both swerve into the same space because the tree's there and they're going to both hit. Okay, now the AI goes, okay, if we do that, probably going to delete both all the people in both cars. One of the cars has to hit the tree, one has to swerve and survive. Which one?
Holy shit.
Which one lives? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, this one has more people, but they're older. Do we save the? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like all, and I feel like all this stuff eventually, when you like, and this is like way down the road. But if everything becomes like AI controlled and stuff like that, someone has to program the decision making for that decision, because all that happens in a split second in the AI. It's like, who's gonna make that call? Like that's the stuff that gets crazy for me when I think about it down the road.
It does. It's funny because it's such an extreme situation. Like, when is the fucking tree going to fall down and you're driving at a speed where you can't slow down in time? But the extreme situation.
The tree was just like a basic example, but like
no. I'm picking it up.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I am. What I'm saying is that you take that same situation and just apply it to all kind of things where there's tough decisions to be made. I guess at the same time, those tough decisions, there's never really a right choice, even if you give it to a human with moral compass. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of an example, but like, there's not going to be a right choice. This is not a right choice.
It's that old one with the train and the lever, and there's people on it. It's like, you know, there's one person here, there's 10 people there, and it's like, what do you do? Where do you send it? Like, the general thing is you send it down to one person. You know that person, you don't know the other 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
there's no right answer, man. That's tough. Holy fuck, Volk, you getting deep on me with that one, brother. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. What I will say is all things are possible through moderation. I preach that all the time. And I think that as long as someone's got a leash on it, we should be fine. But who the fuck is the person with the leash? Then that's another rabbit hole of a conversation to go down. Control, political control with robots. You see, that's the thing. Humans are always the fucking problem. It's never the tool. It's the human.
Yeah.
And like, now that the government knows this is feasible, all right, now what the fuck are they going to do with these robots? It's dangerous. It's dangerous because of all the avenues, man. I don't know.
That's like the whole like quantum computing and stuff like that, which really interests me. And it's like, so there's the whole theory, dude. I love some of this stuff, dude. I could go on forever, but like there's this whole concept of like quantum computing and how like for instance, like when you look at Bitcoin, the whole idea is it can't be hacked, and it's like, well, maybe quantum computing would be able to,
hack it,
or at least hack individual wallets. Like not that I'm not going to go too deep into crypto. I'm not going to get into that, but it's like, okay, now if governments have that power, you're not actually going to use it though, because once you use it, it's like using a nuke. Yeah. Then if others have it, they use it, and then everything's gone. So it's like this, like the teetering of like, okay, quantum computing is like a new level of like world threat and control. And it's like, like the whole thing just goes around in circles. And it's just like, I start thinking about it, I just get confused, and it's like, oh, scary where everything can go.
I think it's so fascinating when you touch up on that type of shit, because the only variable that sets it down a negative path is humans not being responsible and not doing what's right. And when you do what's right, we never have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's just greed, essentially.
It's greed and only worrying about your self-interest and self-benefit, which in times it's proper and then most times it's not proper. Like, right? But that's the thing. That's when leadership comes in, which it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen, man. I feel like you eventually inevitably go. I've seen this in that Love, Sex, Robot show. It's like they put it. It was so fascinating. They put it on like a cartwheel track, but it was humanity inside of this track. Just think of a little mini civilization. Mm-hmm. And they showed the exponential, like rapid speed up of how civilization would constantly progress. And then eventually you just see blow up, start over. And then it would do it all over again. Dinosaur age going through the thing. And then they would get to this point where they just advance so fucking rapidly to this crazy technology. And then it happens again. It all explodes and it goes all over again. And the explosion comes obviously from the people who have got to that point. So I think that is the direction you will inevitably go as a human race. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, there's that one theory on like why we haven't seen other intelligent life in the universe. If the universe is so big, there must be intelligent life. But there's one theory that once it gets so intelligent, it then becomes greedy and then they implode their own society. There's the other theory that if they can travel to find us, why are they going to want us to see them when they are the superior one? And the only time we will see them is when they conquer us, unless we get to that stage of. And it's like there's like all these theories, and I just love all that sort of stuff on different
I think
theories
implode makes the most sense, but then you added a whole nother avenue to it. I completely forget about external life because it's just such a fairy tale in our minds. We'd never seen it. Yeah. And you know, by the way, that would be another rabbit hole, Volk. Now we're getting juicy because then I'd be like, I believe in that shit. Now we got to talk about how we believe it.
Oh, jeez. I just love anything where it's like anything that makes you really think, and it's like hypotheticals, and you're like, whoa. And I just love getting into that mind space of like, shit.
Yeah. I want to touch up on the Rappa subject, and if you want to touch up on just the surface level of Asmon's situation, we can. If not, I completely understand.
Yeah. I mean, you can jump into that first. We'll finish it off with Rappa.
Okay, so the Asmongold situation. The only thing I want to talk about is like it's not really more so about the situation. Obviously, what he said was insanely fucking incendiary, right? And it was just ignorant. Yeah. It wasn't taking into consideration of the innocent people who are, like I said on my tweet, they're just bare bones in the most raw form of survival over there. Like, it's just that there's no way you can agree with the genocide. It's just because genocide doesn't discriminate. You like there's a 2-year-old, there's a 5-year-old, there's a 10-year-old. It doesn't discriminate. It's fucking obliterating everything, and that's just wrong in all capacities. But I think what's fascinating here is obviously he said some dumbass shit on the cuff, on stream. And pride is at stake too. There's a lot of variables there. My thing is, what I don't like about the internet, what I completely and utterly despise about the fucking internet, is the internet tries to treat one moment as a defining of your character. I hate that shit because now everybody is telling him to go kill himself and that he's evil and all of these things, when I've constantly seen that guy inspire people to critically think in this space, which is a big variable that lacks in this fucking space. I've seen him plenty of times give the most fair shake out of everyone in scenarios where people are in hot water. And it's like, that's not a bad person. That was a person who did some dumb shit or said some dumb shit in that moment. But that doesn't mean cancel him, end his career, fuck him, that is that. Roast him, get on him, show him where he was wrong, talk to him about it, and you'll come to an understanding that all people are reasonable. But it's just this whole let our emotions take over and just completely condemn this man, and now he's a piece of shit dirtbag and all this. I hate that about the internet, bro, because it happens so much And I've seen, Volk, so many creators like jump on the low hanging fruit, and that shit is pathetic. I'm like, you fucking scumbags, bro. You niggas' backs are built on sand castles, man. Like, you're telling me you've never said some crazy shit off camera? I know I have. I know everybody else has, and I think you're just fake as hell for trying to pretend like you don't.
Yeah, I think the main problem is that, and like. One, I don't think people should be looking to creators who for their worldviews and stuff like that. I think it's an absolute joke. I think your worldview has to be built on you and your experiences, and watching people online to build your own worldview is just, I think it's the worst thing you can do.
I agree.
And
they don't know what the fuck you're going through, what your situation is. How can you possibly expect them to understand?
Yeah. And the other thing is, I think when you're streaming like that, you get into a mode of having to sensationalize stuff. And then I think you can actually lean into, for the sensationalization of your content, be much more blunt and rude about things. And then you get on a tangent and then you keep going. And I reckon that's probably what happened. I don't think anyone thinks innocent people who have done no wrong in their life dying is a bad thing. What was up?
I'm sorry, Volkin. It was like, I think you came back. Sorry about that.
The recording will be fine for everyone. That's just the Discord call. That's all right. The recording will be sick.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, I don't think anyone actually genuinely believes that. And I think that's just a statement you only say when you're going down a rabbit hole and you're sensationalizing and you're trying to make content out of it. Do you know what I mean? And
tangents are dangerous on the internet. I think that's what we're getting at here, because tangents aren't prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't have concise thoughts, and it's like I feel like if he was saying that in a group of friends, they'd be like, "The fuck are you saying, man?" He's like, "Yeah, okay," but yeah, I mean,
that's it though. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. The group of friends is real life, or family members, or a group of people in real life. They would immediately talk you off that ledge and say, "Okay, hold on. Let's make sure we understand what we're stating here." Clearly, if you watch the conversation between him and Hassan. I don't really know anything about the Hassan guy, but like, they were doing that. They were having the real life conversation where Hassan was explaining to him the gravity of what he was stating. And then he was like, okay, maybe that was a bit aggressive. You know what I mean?
I only found out about this 2 hours ago, so I'm very surface level on it. But so I don't really know too much, but I just saw the clips and I'm like, that is someone who is not thinking about what they're saying.
Correct. That's what I'm, and that is what I'm getting at. It's not an evil person. They're not processing the gravity of what it is they're actually saying. That happens to me a lot of the times, especially when pride's on the line, tangents on the line, and you're going off. But overall, I think the message and the whole thing that I want to talk about with it is anybody can see what he said was wrong, obviously. Yep. But some of it can be debated, which I'm not going to do that because I know the fucking internet lacks nuances. But what I will say ultimately is that you cannot condemn a man and say that they're evil and piece of shit and that in their career, everything's over, cancel them off of one moment, bro. Now I get it. Some moments are pretty damn crazy, right? Like if bro like actually committed to an action, then I get that. But he's not the one who's pulling the trigger. He's not the one committing the acts. It was a dumbass opinion. And that opinion doesn't define the entirety of a human being. And I think that's pretty much what I like to state on the internet. I don't know if you disagree with that. You let me know.
No, I just, because you know me, like I stay out of controversial stuff. And like I said, I don't think people should build their worldview off of what I have to say anyway. So I don't feel like I need to push anything that I believe anywhere. But I think by saying he didn't pull the trigger, there's always that other side of, well, he's inciting this belief, and then other people will get motivated to pull that. You know what I mean? It's like
that's fair.
It's like the endless cycle, and so it's just it's a messy thing. And my whole takeaway from it is you've got to be careful. Like when you have a platform, you've got to be thoughtful about what you say. And that's why if you can't be thoughtful in everything that you say and you're touching on touchy subjects,
just don't touch it.
Just not to touch them. Because
I completely agree.
Because I can talk about touchy subjects with you privately, with anyone, and that's a private conversation. And then when you're with friends, it's like, okay, that I would combat that with this. And it's whereas when it's online and you have the platform and you are the figurehead at the top of the platform, a lot of people will just take your word for it and be like, yeah, I agree. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you've got to
I speak about influence all the time and the dangers of it. I always try to speak it into like many of my peers in this space. And some of them just ignore it and they don't listen to it. And that's that dumbass pride I'm talking about. Like where I'm like, well, eventually the internet's going to fucking humble you and you're going to get what I'm talking about. But like, I if anybody believes in the power of influence, it's definitely me. And I get what you're saying. That was a good point you made up too by saying that he didn't pull the trigger, but he definitely is inciting people to do so, right? But like what I'm trying to say here is they're treating him like he pulled the trigger, though. You know what I mean? And that's insane.
Yeah, but I also think intent is a big thing, and I don't think his intent was to incite that as well. Like, you know what I mean? That's like that conversation is one that can go on forever. But yeah, that's just something that would always get brought up. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think. I mean, did he got suspended? Yeah, was that what
he got suspended for 14 days on Twitch? And obviously for a guy who that level of work ethic, 14 days on Twitch for him, I mean, dude, I'll be honest, that's probably like 300 grand. Might be more than that, honestly.
Yeah,
either way, that's really nothing.
Here's another thing. Call me crazy. If that's the level I got to, I would be stepping back I agree. To me,
you never know what people are going. I mean,
everyone's different. Everyone's circumstance is different.
Yeah.
But to me, at some point, I'm just like, I'm living more life. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I agree.
I love content. If I could choose anything to do, it would be content. But the only difference would be if I was like giga rich, I'd do less of it and spend more me time and family time and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
or adventure. I'd be more adventurous. You know?
Yeah, but yeah, like if you think about it, you're like, 300 grand. I'm like, yeah, but if that's for 2 weeks, man, like you've like,
what the fuck are you
doing?
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I'm just saying, like, some people will think, oh, 14 days. No, my thing, what I was bringing that up is because some people say like, oh, 14 days ain't nothing or whatever, but 14 days. Yeah, that's a lot of money for a guy of that stature. You know what I mean? That is a lot of money. In fact, it's a double whammy because it's no stream and no YouTube upload because that's how he makes the shit. So it is fascinating in that conversation. But what I also wanted to talk about was he stepped down from Starforge. He stepped down from OTK as a leader. Both of those, of his own volition.
As leader or just altogether?
The way he explained it, it seemed like he just detached himself from it. I think you have to at that point because they're going to take a hit if you're still on board because people are going to be like, you're supporting a race. You know, they're going to fling all kind of shit at the company. So the brand it's the same thing we talked about. Like if you say some crazy incendiary shit on the internet and the internet wants to bake you alive for it, our agency is going to have to let us fucking go. It's not going to be no like, oh, well, 1 foot in. No, like, no, bro, you got to get out. Yeah. You know, so I feel like, I mean, we'll find out in due time, but.
And also, the internet forgets really quick. Like,
yeah, they do.
What's Mr. Beast up to? Do you know what I mean? Has anyone mentioned anything about that again? Like,
that's so funny.
Do you know what I mean? I have no idea. I genuinely don't know.
It has a way of popping up, though. I will say that it's like it's wrong and right at the same time. The internet forgets, but then they don't forget. They'll bring some shit up that you thought they got over, and then now you're dealing with the shit again. Yeah. So it's true and not true, man. It's true. It depends on the situation, is what I will say. Because some situations they don't fucking let go. They'll never let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm really I'm gonna have to look at Mr. Beast after this and see
it's fine. If
anything happened. I'm genuinely curious now because it is one of those things like everything sort of just it gets like because we just had you had Dr. Disrespecting as well. Like all these things are just continually going and like I don't pay attention to much on the internet, but when something gets that big, I see it and I'm like because I've never watched Dr. Disrespect once in my life, and then like. All I could see when I opened up YouTube was all this stuff. It just it consumes everything. So maybe that stuff does keep going on. It's just it doesn't get pushed to the fringe people like me who don't interact with it.
Yeah,
let's get onto Rappa.
No, go for it, man. I mean that's a hard pivot, you know, from going from Rappa from that shit. Now I gotta calm down my fucking hype. So Rappa just came out and Rappa's talking about she's looking like she's gonna be probably. I'd say what is this? T0, T0.5, and then T1. T1. It's looking like she's going to be probably a T1 strength level in terms of MOC, whereas a T0 strength level in terms of pure fiction. However, people on the internet are calling this trash right now. Right now, it's like it's been
Really, I missed
discussion.
that, dude. I've been so out of it. I'm just,
Yeah.
I just came in here ready to go. I'm so super jacked for Rappa. I reckon she looks cool. Animations are wicked. I just reckon she's a good all round unit.
I think she's a great unit too. I never expected her to perform on Acheron Faciala, which doesn't make sense for a fucking Erudition unit to do that. Or Firefly. She's a super break unit, just like her kit is very similar to Firefly in a number of ways. The thing is, obviously, Firefly is going to have the higher DPS ceiling, but they have this new mechanic coming into the game called Exo Toughness. And it's basically a way for Super Break to deal even more damage, but it can be utilized by outside of Super Break too. It's basically like, I don't know how to explain that actually. It's a buff in the MLC, right?
Yep.
But this buff is actually just a tease of a character who's eventually going to be able to do the same exact shit.
Yep.
So once this happens, now you can utilize this character to deal Super Break damage and Exo Toughness, which is going to be more Super Break damage. But then again, if you're like not a Super Break character, then you can break that Exo Toughness bar and deal more damage on top of your regular damage too. So I don't just see it for a Super Break situation. I see it for like outside of that.
Yeah.
My thing is, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but like the thing with Rappa is like Erudition is just in an awkward spot.
Yeah. Because
it's one of those things like you think about Jade. Like what was Jade? You just slap her with Herder in Pure Fiction, and that's pretty much her purpose. You know what I mean? And I don't think everyone has to be like. It's kind of like, dude, what's the revenge sword chick's name?
Revenge sword chick? Jing Liu?
No, the revenge. She has the revenge.
Yun Li.
Dude, I completely mind blank on her name. Like you know what? She was good, but like not crazy. I don't think it's bad to have balanced characters because you can't. Because the problem is if everything's a power creep, then people complain about that, and then if it's not power creep, people complain about that. The thing I'm excited about Rappa is she looks cool as hell. She's going to be good in Pure Fiction at least, and viable in the other game modes, and I think that's a good character. Is that a bad take?
No, I don't. I don't think that's a bad take.
I think
at all.
I'm literally just excited because of
it.
her animation. I just think she's a cool character, man. I can't help it. Those colors, man. No. Holy shit.
The thing is, I just tried to really think about it from an objective standpoint. It's not a bad character. It just depends on what the hell your account is. Like if I like me right now, I don't need any more DPSs. I need no more DPSs. My Pure Fiction is pretty smooth on like one side, and then on the other side, it's a little bit less than smooth. So if I pick up Rappa and it becomes smooth, well, then I just improved my account, right? But if you're somebody who cannot beat Pure Fiction, Rappa's a no-brainer. Like you pick up Rappa, you're gonna be able to beat Pure Fiction. It just depends. What the fuck does your account need? Or
it's kind of that awkward thing of PvE in the games. It's like at some point, none of it matters until they make the game harder and you have to pull the new units. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like my free-to-play account, E2, S1 Firefly, S1 Acheron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saving until the next Giga Power Creep, and then I'll go Eidolons into the Power Creep, and I'm just cooking. Like on my new account, however, I picked up Linkshire. I had to double pity to get the Linkshire, unfortunately. But now I'm going to try and get the Rappa. Then I'd have Fei Xiao, Linkshire, and Rappa, and now I've got two teams that I can build.
Yeah,
because we got Harmony MC, we got March 7th. You know, you've got those two playstyles have free units that I can build around, and now I'm sort of cooking on that one. And as I'm curious to see if I'll be able to do it. I haven't played that. I've only done dailies on that account. I haven't really like grinded it in about 2 weeks, basically since Pokemon came out because I'm a degenerate. But I'm curious to see if I can clap through MOC on that account once I do some maintenance on relics and stuff like that.
I think
a month or two of playing it.
I think my concern with Rappa right now is there's no spot for her on the team outside of Ron May and Harmony MC, so she has to swap out one of them. And you're not going to swap out Ron May, and you honestly don't really want to swap out HMC. So now the question becomes, which one is she going to replace? And do I'm sorry, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about the fucking unit that's coming. If you get Rappa, you're going to put her on a Harmony MC Ron May team with a Linkshire or a Gallagher. Who are you going to replace on that team? You have to replace one of them. It's either going to be Ron Mayer or Harmony MC, because the exoskeleton perk is going to go on this character. And now that is going to be the way for you to deal the most damage with Rappa. So it's like, do you pick Rappa up just to pick up this character? Or do you say, she's just not worth the investment, because then I need to pick up the other character with her to really bring out the full potential? Do you know what I'm saying? So like in that sense, I go, okay, yeah, I guess you can just skip her and just continue using Firefly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Me personally,
Firefly cooks.
I don't play these games at this point to like cover the fucking value. Like I clear everything. You know what I mean? So like me, it's very simple. She looks sick. I see some potential there to have some cooking, and then that's it. It's just like, bro, it's not rocket science.
And can I say that's what they do the best though? Is they make cool or fun characters.
Yeah,
and I think that's what they do really well.
They make broken or fun characters. Is that what you meant?
No, I mean cool. Like you look at Fei Xiao. That animation, it's like Acheron animation. Like those things are just cool. They just look good. And Rappa, like she's just cool. Like, are you kidding me? Like that whole visor, as if that's not
sick.
Cool. You know what I mean? Like,
it's cool.
It's stuff that you're like, oh, that's cool. I like that. Or like fun mechanics. Like I really like Lingsha because I love the whole fact that she's got the pet comes in. You know, it's that whole Numby type factor. But I actually like the way Lingsha's functions more than Numby personally. That's just me. But yeah, like I like interesting type things that they do. They just make characters feel unique and give you a reason to pull them outside of meta, because at the end of the day, like the meta doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. But I also, the last thing I would let say is like the internet's also just doing what the fucking internet does. They just doing posts on the latest character.
I didn't even realize they was doing posting on Rappa.
Brax literally put a tweet on Twitter saying, "Holy fuck, these guys are going so like the doom posting on Rappa is insane." That's what he put, and then even Tectone tweeted something about it. So wherever they. By the way, Volk, I haven't seen much of it. I just know they always do it. It's probably on Reddit. Who knows? And Twitter. I haven't seen it either, though, to be honest. But if Tech and Brax tweeted it, it must be bad somewhere.
Oh, dude, that's great.
But I mean, they do it to every character. They did it to Fei Xiao. Fei Xiao's the most broken character in the game. So it's just like, where do we like sit here and like give attention? Just don't even give attention to these morons, bro. It's just whatever. She's more of a niche unit, but that's pretty much what I would say.
Yeah. Well, last thing I want to say, what games are you playing still?
All three. I'm playing
you maintaining all three still?
I'm maintaining all three just because it's just good for the business.
Yeah.
You know? But when Wilds comes out, I might just drop it all together.
Yeah.
Unless it flops. If Wilds doesn't flop like Diablo 4, and
I wouldn't drop them all. I'd drop 2 of them and keep your favorite.
Well, that's the thing with me, Volk, is just not. I'm not you. That's not how I can't do that. I just like I'm a all in guy. I really am. I've tried many times to do the whole like do this. Once I lock in, you're doing all 3 games. Gacha is possible to do that because there's nothing to do once you run into the wall. You get what I'm trying to say? You're not running into a wall in Monster Hunter Wilds. It's just fucking straight up constant grinding, constant farming, getting speed runs. There's a real competitive. It is the most competitive PvE game out there. It is, because you're always trying to get better speed runs. You're always teaching people. Not only that, the combat, the classes are so fucking in depth and complex that it takes hours upon hours of mastery with them, to the point where once you master one, now you go on to the next class and you start making content on that class.
Okay,
and hunting with that.
So it could be, we could be heading into sweaty smack season.
It is a never-ending sweaty grind, and it's my game. That's the game. I love that shit. That's my shit. But like,
question. Do the other Monster Hunter games still have relevance? Like people doing daily content on them?
Monster Hunter World is still being played. Like, right, if you go on Steam right now and just type in Monster Hunter World,
no, I mean from a content. I mean from a content aspect.
Oh no, but they have their runs. So like Monster Hunter Rise was the previous installment for 5 fucking years. It was popping off. Monster Hunter World for 7, 8 years, 9.
Okay, so they keep their relevance without having the continued updated service. People still engage in it.
Correct, which is why it's a good game to sink your fucking investment in as a creator. And then more importantly, the audience is more of a matured audience. It's more of a fucking adult audience. So like you're gonna have a good community with good conversation that understand nuances. Now, don't get me wrong. Every community is dipshits. And I'm not praising these guys up and be like, they're the Giga Chats. No. But it's way better when you compare it to the scope of a gacha space.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I just like it. It's going to be my alley. I'll be honest. But if it flops, then I'm still stuck here. You know what I mean? I'm stuck here, man. Yeah, but that's my plans. Are you just going to be regular Volkin with your dynamic?
Yeah. So
is there any game that might take you away?
So what I'm looking at now is the main one that I play actively is AFK Journey. Still, I do that.
Okay.
I still play AFK Arena, but that's just more on maintenance mode, doing standard stuff. Star Rail on maintenance mode, pretty much. I'll get back into this new account and try and beef it up. What else is it? The other channel, I'm just going to cover the new games. I'll probably cover Ash Echoes when it comes out, and whatever else comes out. Then I'll obviously cover the big games as they drop, NTE, all those types of ones whenever they come. That's probably next year sometime. And then I'm just going to be grinding Pokemon as the other thing.
Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so for me,
I love dude. The Pokemon is just so fun for me. Like, it's ridiculous.
I hope it blows up, man. So what would you do right there if the October 30th drops and your shit starts getting 400, 500, 600?
Then I just maintain my content on like one or two of the other channels, which is what I've been doing anyway. Like, to make a couple videos is a couple hours in the morning, and then I'll just stream Pokemon and make content.
Have you ever considered literally thinking about the dynamic though? Because if, like, this is hypothetically speaking, if it really did start getting 400,000 or 500,000 views and shit, that means if you started, that means if you started streaming, you'd have 5,000, 6,000. You'd have an audience, and you'd be making way more money off of that dynamic. I'm just saying, have you ever put yourself in that perspective? Like, if it actually happened hypothetically?
I'm gonna be. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Because see, like MTash did that. You know what I mean? Like with Genshin Impact. And then obviously it was the most like logical thing to do.
Yeah. I always think I can make time for anything anyway. It's never really stressed me.
I mean, if anybody can do it, I think you can.
I think for me, the thing is, as long as I'm keeping busy and I'm doing something, I'm cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as I feel like I'm busy, then I'm good. But yeah, I'll probably stream that game a lot because once again, this is why I always talk about PvP in every podcast. It's endless content. Like just doing deck builds, doing battles, taking highlights, putting videos. It's endless content for me. So if it does even half decently, it's just fun content that's easy to make, and away we go.
No, I get it. I think that's completely fair. Like me, it's just like, I know for a fact I'm not in the gacha space for anything other than business. I'm in here because it's lucrative. I'm in here because it's got a potential. I don't like play these games as my number one game of choice, but I think you do.
And this is the thing where I hop from game to game to game because I love playing gacha games. I genuinely, like, the day before a release of a game, I start getting all excited to jump in, do rerolls. Like I'm just so pathetic in that, and I just thoroughly enjoy it like nothing else.
No, that's good. I think that's great.
Once you get to the maintenance mode of gacha games, that's where it starts getting the tedium, and I'm like, okay, next thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I say, like me, it's like the next thing kind of starts giving the same exact experience. So I'm just like, this is not really a next thing. It's just like a more different way of giving you the same shit.
Yeah, see, a lot of the but the thing I enjoyed about it is it's like having a free console game.
That's true.
Every new gacha game is like, thing it's too, like a it's a free console, like obviously not console quality, but like I look at them as free console games because a lot of them are just PvE only now. There's no end game, so the fun in it.
You also play free to play too.
Yeah, the fun in it is figuring out all your team compositions, all that grinding through everything there is in the game, and then it's kind of done, and that's where it gets boring. But like those first 2 weeks, the honeymoon phases of games, like holy shit, like it's so fun.
And to be fair, it's hypocritical to say it's the same shit delivered in a different way because that's pretty much all goddamn games, honestly. But what I wanted to say is like there's some real gems out there that I've missed out on literally because of doing the same gacha experience, and those gems were fucking good. examples in recent days, which I know you don't play none of these, so like it doesn't register to you. But like Black Myth Wukong and
I've heard good things about that. I've just never played it. Yeah, I've never played
that's what I'm saying. There's like 30 of those that I've missed only because of the gacha space, and it's just like at the end of the day, I'll eventually get around to them. But that's why I also like Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter Wilds is a real video game, and you would build an audience that would be on board with more real games coming out that they would be open to watching you play. Whereas a gacha player, it's just they're so fucking stuck. Most of them are stuck in just gacha games only, you know, and that's just like not my dynamic. I'm like, okay, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy them. I do. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say a lot of them get stuck in a game as well because it niches down further than that, where it's like your audience is that game. Like, dude, there's nothing that makes me laugh more whenever I upload a video on a new game, and it's like instantly you'll get comments of how long is he gonna last in this game, and I'm like, and then I always do the reply of hopefully 2 weeks, but it could be less.
Yeah, I mean it's just such a goofy ass mindset to even ask that question in the gacha space. Yeah. How about you ask how long is this gacha game going to be enjoyable until it doesn't feel enjoyable anymore? What the fuck? I don't know. Good. But that's gonna wrap this up, man. I don't have anything else to talk about.
No, I think we're good, man. But,
all right. Well,
you know what? I'm gonna make a commitment. We will do one a week away.
One a week away. Okay. Next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday. We'll finally get one a week after the other one. It's been a while.
All right. So 1 week.
No, you'll be moving. You'll be moving. It's not happening.
All I was going to do is I was just going to mention that. The thing is, Volk, I'm out 4 days from now. I have to be out and into that house. If my internet is set up, it shouldn't be an issue. We're already like doing that right now so that we don't have to deal with that. There's no way I can't like not make that. There's just no fucking way.
Instead, I'll make a new promise. We will see you guys when we see you in the next one.
No, like we plan for Wednesday. Seriously, the only way I won't make it is if my internet isn't working for whatever the fuck reason. And you know how it is when you go to another place, some bullshit pop up. But thanks for watching, guys. Gacha Mates episode 14, and we'll catch you on 15 in near future.
A long future.
Yeah.